Hello, my Simlies, and welcome to the SimLife, the best life there is. How are you guys doing this fine and beautiful day? Not doing too bad myself. I had kind of an emotional weekend. Obviously, you guys know that my grandma had passed away back in October, and I've had to go to Utah a couple of times to clear out her house. So I finally got it all cleared out. And her brother, my uncle, actually put it up for sale back on July 31st. Well, within 6 days, it sold. And so for me, it's been kind of hard to see my childhood home sold away. Um, I, my grandma raised me from the time I was 6 months old until October when she passed. And knowing that go to, I can't go home and visit her and go in and to her home and smell the childhood home and knowing that everything is not in there anymore, it's all empty. Obviously, I do have quite a few of her things. Actually, the picture that you're seeing is a picture that I have in my kitchen, and it was hers. It actually has some lights and lights up. It's really super cool. So that's why I figured I wanted to have it as my backdrop. Um, anyway, I wanted to say thank you guys so much for all of the build ideas. I have seen them all. I wrote them all down and I'm going to be kind of working on them. Um, I figured maybe streaming might be the best way to try and get it to look halfway decent. And if I stream, you guys can come in and watch for free. You guys don't have to do anything except for follow. You don't have to buy a subscription. But if you do have Amazon Prime, it is free. You can use because Amazon owns Twitch. You have one uh, Twitch subscription that you can use. So if you guys wanted to use that, you definitely can. If you don't, I'm not. It's not about the money. I just want to be able to spend some time with you guys live and be able to have you guys help me build some of these houses, like the beach house for a single sim or a suburban for a family and a couple of the other builds. Those are the only ones that I can think of at the top of my head. Um, but I would love to have you guys come in and we can build it together. And then that way I can make your guys' reality mine too, and we can learn together. So I do invite you guys to come in. I'm going to start streaming every day at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So, depending on where you are in the world, it could be early in the morning, it could be in the middle of the night, but I just figured 7 o'clock would be a good time because at least then everybody will be off work and just kind of settling down and maybe just wanting to play The Sims. So, I'm also, uh, Tent and Yeo, I don't know if you guys have seen some of their comments. They want to do a let's play that is just for the streaming, streaming us. Ha! So I will be starting that up, and it will just be an LP that is just on Twitch. I'm not going to record it or anything. So it's just to get some people over on Twitch so we can play together live. You guys can help make the decisions for everything. So anyway, what we're going to be doing today is a speed build. It's been couple weeks since I've done it, and so I decided I was going to renovate an apartment. So the apartment that I'm renovating is 1020 Alto Apartment. Um, I can't think who lives there, but it's across from the guy who has like that colorful suit in City Living. So I decided that I was going to build in that apartment. And at first, I was just going to do like a basic apartment, but then I decided that I was going to build a 100 baby apartment because everybody lives in a house. Why not do an apartment? That would be so easy and so fun. You wouldn't have to worry about things outside. Um, and you're right in the middle of the city. You can go and do whatever you guys choose. So that's what I did. And I might even, for my hunter baby, I just might move her into the city. You guys know I've been wanting to move her someplace out of the house that she's currently in. So how I did build it, I build it so that it's easy to see. There's not a lot of stuff in the way of your vision, like things on the walls and things. I kind of left it a little bit empty in the hallway, but you can't really tell unless you have all the walls up. But it's specifically for that. It is up on the gallery under SimLife, hashtag SimLife or SimLifeYT. And let's go ahead and jump in to the 100 baby apartment. Okay, guys, welcome to the channel. I'm so glad to see you. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. So, what we're doing today, like I said, is jumping into an apartment renovation. So, I wanted to do an industrial thing at first, but I decided that I was just going to do something for the 100 baby challenge. So, that's what we're doing here. I was kind of trying to decide. I knew that I wanted the mom's room to be there in the back with the ensuite and then have the crib right there in the next room. And then toddler rooms. And then I was actually deciding whether I wanted to do a teen room and a child room or just have the teens and the child share a room. In the end, that's what I do. So as you can see right now, I put in kind of a walkway there. That I decided is going to be the ensuite for the teen/kids. I do realize that they are going to be doing more in the bathroom than like mom and the tots will, but there is another bathroom that's down the hallways. So as you can see, at first I'm kind of not worrying about packs. But I end up deciding that most of what's going to be in here is either going to be base game, city living, or parenthood. Some of the clutter items in the kitchen, I do use a few other packs, but you still can download it with just city living, base game, and a few things of parenthood. Most of the stuff that's in parenthood is in the kitchen. But you do see I end up right now, this is all just city living and base game. I end up doing most of the house like this. I don't add parenthood in until we get to the kitchen because let's face it, I love the parenthood kitchen. I love the fridge. I love the cabinets. To me, it is just beautiful and perfect for this type of building. So, as you can see, I'm just kind of cluttering it up a little bit, making sure that there's enough there for boys and girls, and trying to make sure that this bathroom is functionable, which I did playtest everything. Everything is functioning. I did have to adjust some of the stuff that is in the mom's ensuite. But I'll show you more as to what I've changed later when we get into screenshots. So as you can see, I decided that these beds might be a little bit better. I know that if you choose lower type beds, the kids end up sleeping a lot more, so I figured quality is better. So I believe in the end this ends up running like 106,000 simoleons. Trying to pick a color scheme for the bedrooms. Oh my goodness, I had the hardest time. What I end up doing is going with kind of like I use a brick, which you can see right there. I do end up using a base game brick. That one right there. I just liked it better. Then I was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do with the rest of these walls? I didn't want it to be identical to the bathroom. I didn't want white. I didn't want brown. I didn't want too colorful. It took me a long time to finally figure it out, but I ended up choosing some that was a light blue with a white thing along the top. So that's pretty much what I did. Oh my goodness, guys. I'm going to have to tell you this. So some of my streamers and YouTubers know we've been having some weird things happen in our house lately. Some things will fall out of nowhere. Sometimes, like, I had this little birthday thing that my grandma had given to me, and it was on the table, my kitchen table. And, oh, sorry about that. My husband is, ended up going to get coffee. Me and my son were the only ones here. Me and my son were here in my office, and all of a sudden we heard a crash. So we go out there, and it was on the floor, shattered into a million pieces. Well, I guess tonight when I was in here doing the finishing touches on this apartment, my husband comes in and he's white as a ghost, which my husband doesn't get scared very often, but we know something has been going on in our apartment here lately. And so we end up trying to figure it out. While we go out there, he was sitting messing with some of the stuff for his automotive tuning of our vehicles. And we have this little plant holder that's shaped like a bicycle. It's metal, it sits on the floor. But we keep our kitty toys in them because they can see them and they'll get them and play fetch and whatever. Well, that he heard a screech, it went across the floor. Well, all of a sudden, our cat Tigger was gonna go and eat some food with his brother in the pantry by our front door. And just as he went to step on the rug that was in the kitchen, the rug flipped up. And it made him run off hissing and growling the whole time, which he's never done. And there has been a lot more incidents here to where the doors have opened and shut themselves, and other things have been knocked over. And so, yeah, it's definitely really freaky. Anyway, we're still here in the kids' room. I'm pretty much done with it, I think. So I end up going into the nursery. Now originally what I had done, what I decided to do with this build was I wanted to put it up for BuzzFeed multiplayer Kelsey. She's doing the 100 Baby Challenge, and she's going to be doing season 3 really soon. And so I wanted to create kind of a house/apartment for her, but everybody does houses, so I'm like, you know what? I want to do an apartment. Apartments, I think, would be so much fun. They'd be easy. They wouldn't have to really worry about going outside and having things out there. I mean, you could have lots of skill building in here, except for maybe some gardening. But I tried to make it to where everything would be easy to see. I don't know if you've noticed that some of the builders, they'll build something and it looks absolutely amazing. But when you're a recorder or a YouTuber like me, or even just one that wants to play, it's hard to be able to maneuver to be able to see what your characters are doing if there's so much stuff. So now, even though I put those balloons and things on the wall, when the walls are either half up or all down, you don't see them. So I thought that that was definitely a bonus. But I did want to make sure that the toddlers were here on close to the mom's bedroom almost, so that if they have nightmares or something, they will come and talk to Mamacita rather than going all the way across the other side where the kids are. And it's also right by a bathroom, which you can kind of see is that wall right there. So, that's what we end up doing. I try to keep it as simple as I possibly can. There is plenty of toys and things for them to do, so you don't have to worry about that. And actually, guys, I do end up noticing now, I noticed that the nursery is the only room with carpet, which I think it'd be a better idea for them because it would keep them a little bit warmer compared to the like toddlers, even though they are an item. Um, so yeah. Anyway, I wanted to tell you guys something else too. So I ended up going in and playing some of the Not So Berry challenge, and you guys are in for the biggest surprise. Biggest surprise. I'm even in shock and couldn't believe it. Um, so yeah, you're gonna find it very, very interesting. So first you can see that I have that uh, shower bath combo, but then I'm like, you can't see. Then I said, well, you know what? We'll just put just a regular tub in there because most of the time this bathroom is just going to be for the toddlers anyway. Mom's going to have her own shower and the kids will have their own shower connected to their room. So I figured just a tub will be fine. We'll just add a little bit of decor pieces, which you can see that I'm doing now. I try to keep this very simple, but have everything that you need. I can say that when you're used to using certain items for decor and clutter and not being able to use it, it sucks so bad. There's so many things I wanted to use, and I feel so bad for the people that actually don't have as many packs, if not all the packs. It's definitely beneficial, you guys, to have it. There is so much more clutter. Now, if you're going to choose one pack for sure, um, the first expansion pack that I would recommend is City Living. City Living and Get to Work are by far my absolute favorites. There is so much gameplay. So much gameplay. So guys, just hurry real quick. As you can see, I'm trying to decorate this as a kid's room, but I realized that it was kind of small and to have 4 beds in there, I ended up counting and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is way too many beds. We're not going to need that many. So I decided to change it to a skill building room, which you will see that's what I end up doing. It's making it into a skill building room. So I have everything from painting to guitar and a violin and an art easel. I put in that punching bag, and then I end up, what I'm trying to do here is actually look for the streamer deck. So if you're kind of wondering what I'm looking for, that's what I'm looking for. So Um, just so you know that. I also end up deciding, oh my goodness, I've got to add one more pack. So as you can see, that I believe is not from Parenthood. I believe that that pack is actually Get Famous. So there are a few things, especially these columns, that you're going to find isn't in some of the packs. But I do try my absolute best to stick it to the packs. I also wanted it to be more warm wood. So at first you can see I'm just using City Living and base game here as well. I do end up changing and end up going and using Parenthood because I prefer it. To me, these just seemed so dark. Then trying to find a matching stove to that, I swear we had one, but I wasn't sure where it was. So I end up going with that silver fridge that you see there at first. Now, I do end up switching these out a little bit. Just because, like I said again, it is just too dark for me. I don't like it as dark as it is, and so I do end up changing it to Parenthood Kitchen. Um, but that would be super easy for you guys to change out if you wanted to and use base game or use something else. It's entirely up to you guys. Um, I do make that into a bar, and then as you can see, I decided to put the stove there, and then, see, again, I'm trying to make it light, and I just can't get it light enough. It's just too dark. Plus, I'm not really liking the paints that are there or the tiles. They just all seem so dark or just not fitting for what I really wanted to do. This is why I end up go ahead and using Parenthood pack. As you can see, that's what I ended up doing. That's also when I decided, oh, I love that plant from Dine Out, but I knew we weren't doing it, so you'll see I end up going for that palm tree, which I was trying to get it to where it wasn't sticking out of the window, but it ends up sticking out the window just a little bit. This is also where I noticed that there's not really a lot of tall plants, really. So I was kind of disappointed in that. And as you can see, this is where I decide, forget it. I am going straight to Parenthood. I want to use the Parenthood stove. I want to use the Parenthood cabinets. I want to use everything Parenthood when it comes to the kitchen, just because it has so many cute pieces to it. As you can see, they're just adorable and definitely something that I prefer to use. I do end up going for this bluish color, which I actually thought made it a little bit lighter as well, rather than so dark color scheme. I mean, if you're going for that kind of thing, I think that's a good thing to pick, but I just did not enjoy that dark wood. It just seemed too dark to me. So, anyway, I do end up putting a couple of things here so that your kids can eat if they choose to just like your toddlers or something can climb right there and eat if they choose to. It's up to them. Um, now, excuse me, I do end up changing that hood scoop for a different one. It's not a hood scoop, it's a stove hood, I think. I don't know what that is. Um, I was debating on tile, but I really ended up liking the darker brown rock that you see right there. I just thought that it fit perfect. The rest of them just don't work very well. So you'll see that is what I end up leaving with the Parenthood lights above the seating there. And there are a couple of things that I add and change and everything later, but um yeah, it's just something I wanted differently to have like a double sink, and I was deeply, deeply saddened that I just didn't have much decor to put anywhere. All the decor that I wanted to use, there was none, and it made me sad. I mean, at least I could use the little strainer and like the bread maker and everything, but there's nothing else really clutter-wise. I mean, you have cookies and a couple of other things, but there's no like napkin holder or anything like that. So I do end up um, trying to figure out what more I can put up here to clutter it up a little bit because it was driving me nuts. So this is when I give up and I decide, okay, I am going to add a few more things. It's just driving me nuts. I can't. I want the cookbooks. I want the seasoning. I want the napkin and salt and pepper shakers, and just can't do it with just those 3 packs. So if you guys do download this apartment/room off the gallery, you'll see that it does have a few of the other packs, but just rest assured all of the necessary stuff is base game and city living and a few things of parenthood. The rest of the stuff is all clutter. So there's no necessities really using all the other packs. So you don't have to worry about that part of it. Um, so this was just kind of a practice for me. I really am sad. This whole apartment has so many windows, but they're all so tall. So I don't know if you guys know, this particular apartment is a medium wall height. So this is the one that the Lobo guy lives in, I think. I can't think of what his name is, but I know he's the one with the shiny suit. So, just so you guys know, this is his apartment. Um, so you can see I'm still adding just clutter, clutter, clutter because I feel so bad that there's not a lot of clutter for in some of like the parenthood packs and things like that. I was really bummed out. But you guys don't have to worry. It will still be functional. Even if you just have city living and base game, the only thing you'll have to really redo is the kitchen and the dining room. Everything else is base game city living. I wanted to do that just so you guys had something else that you could use. Because I can only imagine, I remember that when I only had a few packs, how frustrating it was to only have a few packs. And when I went to download something off the gallery, having everything disappear is like the biggest bummer. Anyway, you can see I'm kind of messing with the camera here. It's because I was trying to see underneath the cabinet so that I could place those lights underneath there. And that's kind of when I rotated it and kind of messed a few things up. So I do end up going back and fixing that. So don't worry about that. Especially the punching bag in the middle of the toddler room. I don't think that they'll like that very much, but hey, who knows? um, so I'm just trying to figure out painting. Now, you guys can always rearrange that other space to be another bedroom if you choose to. Don't be afraid to redo some of my stuff that I have here to fit your guys' gameplay. I am okay with that. Now, as you can see right here, I was trying to figure out how in the world I was going to get another area for the kids to play, because to me that seemed a little too big for a dining room and a living room. So, and I wish that there was a way that you could move that fireplace, but you can't. It is stuck there. So, sorry guys. I end up, um, deciding that I'm just gonna put a wall over it and figure something else out. Um, I do not keep the table that way. I do end up rotating it just so I can fix the front room a little better. I also changed those curtains out. They don't remain that way. But as you can see, like I'm looking at that and I'm like, oh, I can't move that anywhere. What am I going to do? That's when I figured, you know what? I'm going to cover it up and then and that's even another room that you can add and put as a bedroom if you chose to. You know, a couple of extra bedrooms, or you can change that to the skill building. Hmm. It's entirely up to you. Um, so here, I was just trying to figure out what kind of chairs I could put on the other side there because Parenthood, um, the um, left seat doesn't match. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm never going to find chairs that are going to fit on that side. Now I've seen a couple of people use cabinets and things that are underneath the TV, but I decided that we'd still do the fireplace. We just gotta hope that the other one doesn't catch fire. Yeah, let's try and not help it catch fire. So this living room is definitely very yellow and blue. And I do end up changing the color of those chairs eventually too. I just figured those kids' chairs would be perfect for the little toddlers that are going to be wandering around. Um, this is also where I decide, forget it, I'm putting in a double sink instead of a single. And then I'm like, oh my goodness, this, we don't need that many pans, obviously. So I shrunk them down one and kind of stuck them there, rearranged a few things. I just didn't like only having one sink because so many times I've had it to where my Sims are mad. There's not enough room, not enough room. So I try my absolute best to try and keep to where there's enough room. Um, so as you can see, I am gonna have that in that skill building room. I do end up finding a really gorgeous rug, this one right here. And I just love how bright it is. I could definitely change the colors of the couch if I wanted to, but I figured that it really did match really well. And so just trying to hurry up and finish this little kids playroom type thing. So just trying to find a light and then I'll paint it a little bit and um then we'll head back to Mamacita's room as soon as I'm I've also got to paint as well. Um I love those lights, but I end up putting them by the TV. But trying to find a light, as you can see, that would look good in back of there, just to me it seemed like it bleached it out a little bit too much, so that's why I figured I would go with those yellow lights to the side of the TV as well. I also figured that the brick went all the way through that one wall, so why not leave it that way? Um, I do change the skill building room as well. It's not going to be green. I do end up changing it to a blue. But I'm not sure if that's actually on camera or not. So here I'm just trying to make sure that I get all of the wood traveling all the same way. And then just trying to find Mama Sita's room. At first I was going to go for like a yellow, just kind of like the front room. But I then decided I wanted purple, mostly because I saw those dressers, and I thought, oh, those are so pretty. Those would be perfect for in here. So that's why I do that. And then I add those candles because let's face it, this mom is radical, 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 radical. So why not try and make it purplicious? So anyway, that is what I try and do. You'll notice in the bathroom that's in here along that brick wall, I do end up putting some sinks with some cabinet type things around it. I do end up deleting that, you guys, because it does not work very well at all. So I figured that I would let you guys know that in advance. So, um, I will make sure that we get everything squared away. Now, if you guys really do like what you see, and this is your first time here, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button before you head out. And definitely comment down below on a couple of things that you like about this build, or if you see something that maybe I messed up on, or maybe something I should add. Should I do more pack restrictions on some of the builds? Because I do want to redo some of them. But I don't want them to be too overwhelming. So, anyway, we're done with Mamacita's room. I will be moving my character into this apartment later on. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you all in the next one. Namaste.